Welcome to season 13 of the Parenting Aces podcast, a proud member of the Tennis Channel Podcast Network. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and this week we are revisiting a topic that we addressed a few weeks ago at the time. It was called Time Tennis. Time Tennis has recently rebranded and is now called Intennse. And Intennse recently put on a junior event in Atlanta that showcased the unique features of Intennse, the timed sets, the one serve, the team aspect, on-court coaching. And we have the opportunity today to talk with two families who participated in that event in Atlanta. I thought it was really important to share their experience with y'all because I think it's really cool when something new comes to our sport, especially something that includes a team aspect and an on-court coaching aspect, both of which are pretty rare in tennis and especially in junior tennis. So I'm super excited for y'all to get to meet the Mowreys and the Langs and hear about their experience with this Intennse event in Atlanta. Before I bring them on, though, I want to just do a quick reminder about our summer 2025 trip to Barcelona and Mallorca. We are going to be traveling with a group of junior players. Parents and families are invited if you would like to join us. And we will be starting our trip in Barcelona, where the kids will be training at a local academy for a couple of days. We'll move down to Mallorca to the Rafa Nadal Academy, where the kids will be training with the full-time academy students at the Nadal Academy. And the parents have the opportunity also to participate in the tennis or just hang out and enjoy the beautiful island of Mallorca. If you are interested in finding out more or signing up for the trip, I encourage you to go to our website. There's an article right on the homepage at ParentingAces.com. If you click on that, you'll get the brochure, which will also take you to the registration page with all of the different pricing options and the details for the trip. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Lisa at ParentingAces.com, or you can DM me on any of the social media. But I would love for y'all to come with us. We do have limited spots available, but it is going to be an amazing adventure from July 18 to 27, summer of 2025. So all that said, now I would love for you to sit back, relax, and enjoy my conversation with the Mowreys, the Langs, and learn a little bit more about Intennse. I am so excited to get to chat with two awesome families in the Atlanta area. One is, well, now I'm like super confused about how to introduce y'all. The Liang-Ouyang family, is that the way to say it?
Sure, yes, the Ouyang.
Sure. JS is like close enough.
Yeah.
And also the Mowrey family, both of whom, as I mentioned in the intro, participated in the recent Intennse tournament in the Atlanta area and are here to talk about that experience. So Sadira, we're going to start with you. If you could introduce yourself, tell us your age, where you go to school, where you train, who your coaches are, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sadira Ouyang. I'm 15 years old and I go to school at Crimson Global Academy. I train at Windy Hill Athletic Club, and our coaches, we got like four, like Coach Marcelo, Coach Pedro, Coach George. Yeah.
Awesome. And for my audience, you guys have heard from Marcelo recently. He was on the podcast to talk about a group trip he took to Europe over the past summer. So hopefully you'll remember that. And if you haven't checked out that episode, I'll link to it in the show notes and y'all can check that out. Okay, Sadira, thank you. And you want to introduce your parents?
Oh, yeah, this is my dad. And this is my mom. So
Awesome. So JS and Erica, welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, Connor, your turn.
Hi, I'm Connor Mowrey. I'm 15 years old. I go to Bus Trinity Catholic High School. And I go to Jennifer Tennis Academy. And my coaches are Jason Parker and John Schultz.
Awesome. My son used to train there. I don't know if your dad told you, but yeah, very cool. And your dad? Introduce your dad.
It's my dad.
Dave. That's
Dave. Okay. So we're going to jump right into talking about this event that you guys all participated in. Both of you play USTA tournaments, some UTR tournaments. Are either of you playing ITFs as well yet?
Not yet, but I'll
No.
play.
Okay. And Connor, not you either yet. Okay. But you've played plenty of USTA tournaments, UTR tournaments where you're playing singles, you're playing doubles, you're out there for yourself, you're trying to win matches. And as you win more matches, you get ranking points or your rating is impacted, and it's all for one, one for all, but really one for one out there as you're battling through the draw. This Intennse event is a team event. I'm going to start with you, Sadira. Is this the first team tournament that you've participated in?
No, I've played a lot of like USTA team tournaments, and I love team tournaments. They're always very fun to just compete in because like you just play as many matches as they provide.
Yeah. Do either of you play high school tennis?
I do.
I don't.
You don't. Okay. And so Connor, you're used to playing in a team environment through your high school matches. Have you played USTA team events as well?
I don't think any yet.
Okay. So this was your first.
A while ago, yeah, but
Yeah. So Connor, I want to ask you, first of all, what was like the main thing that stood out to you as a difference playing in a team environment versus playing just a regular old junior tournament?
I think the main difference was like if you're not playing great, doesn't always mean that you're gonna get out of the tournament and lose like first round. You still got like your teammates to help you.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Sadira?
Yeah, I agree with him. Also, I feel like it was just like a lot funner and just like a lot less stressful because when you're by yourself, like you're just thinking about you, but then whenever like your teammates are cheering you on, it's just like a lot louder. So like a lot less stressful and just happier in a way.
I love that. Let's talk a little bit about like the structure of Intennse tennis. And I went over this when Charles and Yannick were on the podcast when it was still time tennis. I don't think anything's changed structure wise, but so the deal is you get drafted onto a team. Once you first you register for the tournament. You have no idea which team you're going to be on when you sign up, right? And Intennse tennis has coaches that draft teams, and there's an equal number of boys and girls on each team. And the format of play is incorrect. You'll jump in and correct me if I get this wrong, because I know some things have changed. They're 2 10-minute periods. You are playing on a clock. So once that match starts, the clock starts, you play straight through for 10 minutes, and then the period's over, there's a little break, and then there's another 10-minute period, and then the match is finished. 20 minutes or 22 minutes with the break, match is over. It's one serve, correct? And can y'all explain to me how the substitutions work? Because that's one of the unique features of Intennse is that you can actually sub players in the middle of a match. Is that right?
Yeah. So what we did was just like if like one player got tired or they just like started not playing well, because like you would just go on for like maybe 5 minutes straight and just you're gonna get tired. So if like the person's just not playing well, then the coach can just like call a timeout, or he can just take that player out and put another one in, just yeah.
Okay. Connor, can you tell us what your team, like what was the makeup of your team? The number of boys, number of girls, who was your coach?
We had 3 boys, 3 girls, and our coach was Marcelo.
Okay. And so were y'all all about the same level? How was it decided who played when?
Some players handled pressure better at the start, so we would put them in first, and some people were better at like closing the match out, so we would put them in last.
And so you started out with what, a boys singles match? Is that, walk me through the format.
So there was like one boys singles, one girls singles, and a mixed doubles.
Okay, so for the singles matches, one person's playing, but you've got two backup players, your bench that can be substituted in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then in the mixed doubles, same thing, you could sub players in?
Yes, but if you just subbed one player out, then that would also count as a substitution. So you kind of had to be strategic with that.
Oh, so you're limited in the number of times you can substitute. Okay. All right.
How many subs were there? Were there Sadira and Connor were 2 subs?
You could sub 3 times.
3 times total.
3 times total. Okay. And how many teams were in this tournament that y'all played? Do you remember?
3, I think.
3 teams. Okay. So 27 players. No. 3 times 9. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Is that right?
18, I think.
18. Sorry. My math brain's not turned on. Okay. So 18 players total. You played a singles, a girl singles, a boy singles, a mixed doubles. At the end of those 3 matches, that was it. You were done. Tournament over.
Well, so in total we had 2 boys singles, 2 girls singles, and 2 mixed doubles versus each team.
Okay. And y'all did all that in one day, or was it over 2 days?
It was all one day.
Okay. Sadira, tell me a little bit about the makeup of your team. Did you know any of the kids, and who was your coach?
So our coach, I also was on the same team as him. So we had Coach Marcelo, and I did know 2 of the boys, Drew and Decker, because they both go to Windy Hill, so that's how I know them. And yeah, that helped a lot knowing the coach and the kids, so we can like interact more and just like have like better energy, and also help like get to know the other girls and Connor too. So yeah.
And where were the other girls from?
I think they're from like East Cobb. I'm not sure. I think one of them was from Old Town, so where we did the tournament. So yeah.
Okay. Did you know her, Connor?
I did, yes.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. I want to go to the parents now for a minute. JS and Erica, can you tell me a little bit about why you decided, well, first of all, how did you find out about the tournament? And then why did you decide that this would be a good opportunity for Sadira?
So Coach Marcelo texted us and tell us there's a tournament going on, new format. Sadira came back home, mentioned that to me as well. So, and I also text him actually, because, Sadira's training schedule is very busy. So I asked him, he said, it's just a very unique new format of the tournament. We never done it before in the past, never seen it. So just sign her up and it will be fun. And Sadira really want to go because, it just, she plays so many USTA tournaments, singles, doubles, very stressful, like her said. She loves teams tournament. She wants to have fun. She wants to enjoy herself, instead of just being pressured to win a match round by round. So
JS, anything to add?
No, mainly Erica and Marcelo kind of made the decision, but for me, it was more just something where she can, just have fun. The kind of go back to the original roots of why she wants to play tennis, to enjoy it, and she's more of a social, and she's a typical teenager, wants to socialize with her teammates and have fun with that, and that kind of reduces the stress and kind of eases the moment. And it's not something that she gets to experience a lot because she doesn't play against in a high school or in a team environment. So there was something she really looked forward to.
Dave, how about you? How did you find out about the event, and why did you think this would be a good one for Connor to play?
Yeah, same kind of thing. The academy texted around that this was happening at Old Town, which is where Connor trains. So we heard from the coaches that this was happening. We had also seen the time tennis at the Atlanta Open. We were down there a few weeks before the this tournament, so we knew, you know, roughly about the format. So it was interesting that they were doing, you know, this tournament at our club. So that was great. And then, you know, Connor likes playing in a team environment. He likes it with the high school kids that he plays with. So he likes kind of the social side of it, the fun part of team tennis. And then, you know, just looking at the kids that were going to play in it, he knew that there were going to be some great players playing in this format. So he wanted to be a part of it.
Connor, how was the competition compared to other tournaments that you've played? Like, what was the level like?
There were a lot of really, really good players.
Did you feel like you were competitive with them? Like, normally, if you're playing a USTA tournament, what level tournament are you playing?
Usually a 5 or a 4. It's usually what I would play, and yeah, but there was really good players in it.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Sadira? Like, what level do you normally play when you sign up for USTA events?
For 16s, I usually sign up for like level 3s, level 2s, 18s, level 4s, and level 5s.
Okay. And so how did you find the competition compared to those events?
It was like similar to like the 18s, level 5s, I guess. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's something I've seen before and experienced.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought it was so interesting that the tournament was through USTA. I mean, you signed up through Play Tennis, and so I'm assuming that the matches go onto your record for world tennis number. I'm not sure how it worked. Did they do a points per round thing as well? Do y'all know?
I don't think any USTA points were given. It was
Okay.
really exhibition.
But did it show up, like, if you go on your world tennis number, it doesn't show up there, or
No,
UTR?
No.
no.
So
definitely.
this was strictly something to do because it's going to be really fun. I'm going to be out there with a team. I got to get a coach on court with me, which, my goodness, when do you get to do that as a junior player, right? Let's talk about that aspect of it a little bit. What was it like, first of all, for the players, and then parents? I want to ask you about this as well. What was it like to know that you had a coach right there on court with you who you could turn to and could actually, within the rules, you know, kind of guide you on little changes, little tweaks that you could make to have a better outcome in the match? Sadira, I'll start with you.
I mean,
You think so?
like, to be honest, I didn't have like a lot of involvement with our coach when I was playing, but he just like cheered me on and just told me to keep the energy, and you know, it's just like a cheerleader kind of that's like always there, and it's nice.
I mean, how did that feel compared to when you're out there by yourself on court?
I mean, usually, because usually people don't cheer you on when you're playing just by yourself, so it's like different because like there's someone else with you. It's kind of like doubles, but then you're just on court and the other person just standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Connor? How'd that feel for you?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same for me. It was pretty much just like cheerleading. Yeah, you gotta like, yeah.
Do you
I
feel like it made a difference in the way you were playing?
feel like it gives you a little more confidence in your shots and everything.
And how about in terms of like just your mental state out there? Y'all both said that this was more fun. So did you feel like you could play more freely? You were feeling a little more relaxed versus that, you know, pressure cooker when you're out there on court by yourself for yourself?
I was pretty tight at first, but got used to it. Yeah, it was just way more fun. Yeah, felt more.
And sorry, go ahead.
I felt more like free and loose at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dave, from the parents' perspective, what was it like for you watching him play with a coach there, and how did it change the way you interacted or were feeling during the match?
Yeah, I loved that part of it. It was my favorite part. And I told Charles and the Intennse guys about this because the juniors hardly ever get a chance to have that like really rowdy, loud environment, kind of cheerleading environment. It happens a little bit in high school tennis, but I mean, you guys, everybody knows like the USTA, it's very, refined and quiet, and you have to be very careful about what you're cheering. And there's no coaching, and it always it's always bothered me that professionals get on court coaching. Basically, the coaches are right there in the stands. College is all about coaching on court. The only format that you don't get coaching on court is juniors, where they actually could really use some on-court coaching. So I love that part of it, both the on-court coaching and just the environment, the excitement, the energy, the cheering. You just don't see that in any other format. So I love that as a parent.
JS and Erica, how about you? How'd you feel about the coaching aspect of this event?
I maybe I'll take this one first. Is that basketball has always been kind of my first sport that I fell in love with as a kid, and it felt very familiar. Like everything is open and everything's game. Like, of course you should be able to coach, right? And that's the point of having a coach. It makes a lot of logical sense because I came from the world of a more, shall we say, for lack of better description, a regular sport where you can coach, you can talk trash, you can, holler and heckle and everything. All that is there. And what I also saw from the kids is that the pressure is they're not on an island anymore. And they don't know that they necessarily noticed that, but I definitely noticed they felt they weren't on an island. The fact that there's coaching, that anyone can say anything, and you can even say, hit to that boy's backhand. His backhand is not as good as his forehand. And you can technically say that. We all felt the reservation, like we couldn't say that because of what we've all been kind of conditioned to, but we technically could say stuff like that, which is what we would do in a normal sport. It's like, oh, that person's got no jump shot. Let him shoot the ball. That's what you do in basketball. So that's a lot of the aspect that I liked about the coaching is that you can do all these sort of things, and it makes it feel like one of the other sports, if you will, for lack of a better way to describe it.
Yeah.
So,
Erica?
yeah, the coaching part, I'm just opening up my eyes is because this one is a coach stand right next to court, right next to the sideline. And they just they do the on-the-spot coaching, they just shout at you, and it's like a bunch of people just standing around the sideline, right next sideline, just watching you and cheering for you and coaching you and saying the things. Now the coach coaching, but the other teammates, they also provide tips to the people playing on the court. That was really fun to see that.
Yeah, I really love
that was my next question, was when you weren't the on-court person, how was it to be on the sideline cheering on your teammate and also having to be prepared to be subbed in if the team needed you?
The cheering was like very loud. Like you could just say whatever you want. Basically, it had some limitations, but like you could just say like the other team sucks or something like that, which is kind of funny. Like my teammates when I was playing, they would say some like joke and I just started laughing right before I had to serve. Which made it just like kind of like less the stress, I guess, lessen the stress. And just the cheering definitely helped, and like I just tried to cheer on as much as I could for my teammates because it helped me a lot. So yeah.
How about you, Connor?
Yeah, you could pretty much say whatever you wanted. You could say like he's tight, he's anything.
Yeah. And did either of you wind up getting subbed in for another player?
Yeah.
Connor, you did?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that a little bit. What was that like, having to jump in the middle of a 10-minute set?
It's really hard because like, I mean, you haven't warmed up for a couple minutes, you feel like already tight again, and you gotta go right out and right into one serve. And it's hard, yeah.
What was the one serve? I mean, that would freak me out totally. Like, I'm all about a second serve. So how did you manage the stress of making sure that you got that serve in? Did you just serve second serves? Was that kind of the way you were coached, or was there some sort of strategy around that?
I was serving like a little bit of a harder second serve. I missed some, but it's hurting them. So.
Yeah. How about you, Sadira?
To be honest, I was actually really serving really good that day. So I like
Awesome.
made a lot of serves and like good serves that I did not expect to make. I was like about to kick every serve, and then I just realized I could just make it. I like placed it really well. And it helped me get more confidence, which helped like just win more points in general. So yeah, I didn't really think about the rule that much. So
Yeah. And I want to just ask both of you, have you played another regular tournament since you played in this event? Have either
yeah.
of you played? Yeah.
Just played another team.
Played
one this
another
weekend.
team one.
You
last
did play another team one. Okay, cool. But have you played just an individual like USTA or Sadira? You have? Okay. And so transitioning back into a regular USTA tournament where it's just you out there, two serves, no clock, no coach. Do you feel like you took some things from the Intennse tournament that were useful in the individual tournament that you played after?
Yeah, I definitely got like a lot more confidence, or just like knowing how to be confident, because especially under like stressful like situations, because like if your like team is down, you need to like win these points. That's why you're like substituted in or something. So I just felt like the stress, I like learned how to handle that well, because like it's not actually counting for anything. So I could just like practice it in like a not real event and then put it in for like an actual tournament. And that helped a lot for my last tournament, which is really nice.
I love that. You know, I talk a lot about the importance of playing practice matches. That's kind of one of my mantras at Parenting Aces, that you guys don't play enough practice matches. And I think it's good for everybody to hear that, because you played this intense event, which in essence is practice matches because it's an exhibition, it wasn't counting toward ratings or rankings, that there was benefit to that, that you have lessons that you can take away from that and apply to the tournaments that count toward your ratings and rankings. And there are a lot of people that feel like, oh, practice matches are a waste of time. It's not the same pressure. You know, why am I going to take time away from my regular training to do this? But you guys are showing us that there is value to playing matches that don't count toward anything, because you can work on things. You can work on confidence. You can work on your second serve. You can work on your body language, all the things that, you know, come out and need to shine when you're playing an individual tournament. I want to just reiterate that for those of you listening, if you have junior players, please, please, please find a way for them to squeeze in at least one practice match a week. You know, really, they should be playing 2, 3, 4 practice matches a week, but I know that's not realistic for everybody. But you guys have got to make a better effort at this. And we've actually been having this conversation over on our Facebook group about the importance of practice matches. So for both of you, I want to just ask, would you do this again?
for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. So let's say, Sadira, you've got the choice between playing an 18s level 4 tournament or an Intennse tournament. How do you make the choice?
I would either go like I'd probably pick Intennse, just like for the fun of it, and just because usually I don't like get to do those type of stuff, and I do play like a lot of just 18s level 4 and all that stuff. So it's like kind of like once in a while type of situation. So just why not take it, you know?
Yeah, take advantage. How about you, Connor?
Yeah, same with me. I mean, just like a different environment, different tournament. Like I would choose that probably.
Do y'all see this as something that's going to be integrated into the junior competition calendar on a regular basis? I mean, is this something that you would like to have available to you once a month or, maybe once a quarter? Just to kind of take a break from the intensity of, I just made another pun there, the intensity of regular junior competition?
Yeah, for sure. I would like a switch up.
Yeah.
Okay, parents, what else do you need to tell us? What does our audience need to hear about this? And what are you hoping that this turns into for your kids? Dave, let's start with you.
Yeah, I would say a couple of things that surprised me with the tournament format. One, like you talked about earlier, Lisa, it's way more strategic than you would think that the format would be of just playing a bunch of points. The subs are, how you do the substitutions is strategic. You didn't mention that you get 2 points for a winner. So it encourages the kids and the players to take chances and go for shots. Again, it's kind of a safe environment to try some things out. The first serve, second, only doing first serves is, I think, a great environment. So I love the format. I definitely would agree with the kids here that it would be great to work this in, once a month, once every other month, just to shake things up. Like the players get in such a rut of playing so many USTA tournaments, and they're doing academy every week and lessons and all that stuff. Something to keep it fun so they don't get burned out, I think is. I'm a big fan. I hope it really takes off and they get the opportunity to play it a lot.
JS and Erica, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I like the point that you touched on earlier was it encourages, you know, aggressive tennis play instead of, counterpunching, hitting the ball back with each other. I think that's one aspect that I forgot about that's really good about the way Intennse has set this up. But the other aspect is, tennis is a very mentally tough sport. And just going through that every week or every tournament and having that kind of, little mental break or a different type of mental thing in a different way, it's just wonderful way to reset, but while at the same time still getting your practice in. And the other aspect that I love a lot about this is you we all know when we play tennis, it's like, oh, you hit with somebody a lot and you get used to it, the balls, and you see how it spins. They get to see a lot of different types of balls and a lot of different types of spins, styles, and they get to practice and learn how to deal with that in a very quick way. And that can apply to their regular tournaments. So, one thing about tennis you get good at is you've seen everything before. And I think that's an important aspect that you can get a high dosage of with these type of tournaments.
So one thing I want to add on is I think this match play or tournament, this Intennse, is in very good, efficient format. I like efficiency, and the total time of they play like 3 different teams do a round robin. They only did 3 or 4 hours, finish everything, and they play many points. In 10 minutes, you can play a lot more than the USTA tournament you're gonna play. There's no, and also they play, the speed of the play is based on the server. So basically you serve and you don't need to wait for the person receive to be ready. You can start to serve. It's very fast paced, and so they play lots of points. And so it's very good match play, to be done during a very short period of time.
Yeah, and one thing I think we haven't mentioned, but the parents that have to take care of these kids, it's such a time efficiency gain from having them be able to get so much tennis experience out of such a smaller window, as opposed to, we all know how these normal tennis tournaments is. You do more waiting than you actually do playing.
Yeah.
It's and it's worth it because that's the way the system is set up. But this Intennse format, you get a lot of tennis in for that window. And that's the beauty of I think ultimately what we want to get our kids more experience, and you can do that in a shorter window and still go about the rest of your life for the, the next couple, whatever 3 to 4 days we have to spend on this type of thing.
Yeah,
It's a
I
great-
love that it's a 1-day format. Oh, sorry, Sadira, go ahead.
No, I
No,
was
I
just
think it's-
talking.
it's
No, I
great.
was, I
Oh,
was, I was
okay.
gonna say, I totally agree. And one of the things, Connor used to play lacrosse, and just like some of the other sports you were talking about, other sports, you have a fixed time, you have a fixed schedule. The game is gonna happen at this time and it's gonna last about an hour long. That was another great thing about Intennse, right? The schedule for the day was all laid out. You had this team playing this team in boys singles at this time at 10 o'clock, and it's going to last for a half hour. And so you can kind of like plan your day a little bit about it, right? Like it's a schedule, you know how long it's going to last, and you know they're going to play in that match. They're going to play, 5 other kids, right? And so it's a great format from the time management as well.
Yeah, I think it's, from the family aspect, because we know how difficult tennis can be on the non-tennis playing members of the family. If you have multiple children or whatever your situation is, knowing that, okay, tennis is going to be from this time to this time this weekend, and then we're done with tennis. Now we move on to the next thing we're going to do, whether it's going to hang out at the beach or it's, doing homework or whatever, hanging out with your friends. I think that's really cool. The other thing that kept kind of coming up as I'm listening to you guys talk is the prevalence of injury that we're seeing in our junior players. And as I'm sitting here with tape on my shoulder, and going through physical therapy right now for an injury, we're seeing so many injuries in our kids that used to be adult only injuries. And it's because of the intensity of the sport. The sport's gotten way more physical. It's gotten quicker. The pace has gotten harder. The kids are required to train more and, on a almost daily basis. This gives them kind of a break from that as well, gives their bodies a little bit of a break. And God forbid somebody does get an injury during an intense match, then you just say, hey, coach, take me out, sub somebody in for me. I turned my ankle or my elbow's a little niggly today. I need to take a break. I mean, how cool is that to be able to do that and not feel like you've let down anybody, and you're still there. You still have a job, even if you can't be on court. Your job is still to cheer on your teammates and keep them pumped up and ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this. I really hope that we start to see more of these events. I am going to include in the show notes contact information for Intennse for anybody that's watching or listening that wants to figure out how to bring an event to their area, because I think this is something that we should be kind of testing out around the country. I think it's cool to have mixed ages, mixed genders, for the kids to get to play mixed doubles. My goodness, where else do they get to play mixed doubles anymore? And that's a fun thing to do, to be on court with somebody of the opposite gender and just kind of go out there and have fun, make it all about the fun again. All right. Anything else? Any last words before we round this thing up?
Thank you. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Not too painful, I hope.
Not
Well,
at all.
I appreciate all of you coming on and sharing your experience. Connor, Sadira, wish you all the luck in the world with your tennis. Keep working hard, keep having fun with it, keep experimenting out there. And, I hope whatever your goals are for your tennis, I hope you see them through and, get to see you play in person sometime. But I really do appreciate y'all taking the time. And to you parents, thank you so much for supporting your kids, for being willing to support something a little different and think outside the box a little bit and understand that it's okay to skip a USTA tournament or a UTR tournament or an ITF tournament to go do something that's just purely fun and keeps the kids playing, keeps them active, keeps them engaged in the sport. Y'all mentioned burnout. We know that's real. And, I lived through it with my kids, so I totally get it. And I'm hoping that as we incorporate more events like Intennse, we're going to see that burnout curve go down and the fun thing go up, up, up. So, yeah, keep supporting these creative out of the box thinkers in your communities, and hit me up if you need information on how to bring Intennse to your community. Again, the information will be in the show notes, but for now, thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you next time on Parenting Aces.